What's good, Brotherhood Podcast? It's CFOS here, back with another great episode. We got one of the all-time best players here at Duke, all-time winningest player here at Duke, 2001 national champion, All-American on and off the court, Shane Battier.
CFOS,
How
man.
you doing?
Good, man.
Appreciate
good to be
you
here.
coming on here.
It's good to be here.
How does it feel being back at Duke?
Man, the greatest thing about playing here and going to school here is every time you step on campus after you've been away, you're like, man, I can't believe I played here.
Yeah.
You know, and it never gets old.
Huh.
It never gets old. You know, I saw David Henderson here, Dante Jones, Doc, Sewell. You come back, and when you step on campus, you're like, man, this place is so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. So when you're here, you don't really realize that, but like when you're gone, you're like, man, this is the best. So I'm just happy to be here.
So you played with Sewell, Will Ave,
Yep.
some of my coaches. So does that make you feel more interested in that team, having players you play with now coaching?
It's so funny. It's so funny to see Sewell and Will, and they're very respectable. And they're my brothers. I love them so much.
Yeah.
But they were knuckleheads when they were here.
Yeah.
All right. They're the same knuckleheads now.
Yeah.
But now that they're more respectable.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Look, they were awesome. Will was my freshman roommate with Elton Brand, and Sewell was a year older than me. And the cool thing about playing here, and you play against so many great players and so many great people, like you go to battle every single day with these guys.
Yep.
Right, and we've been through the fires, and I played with those guys for many years, and they're my brothers, and that's the cool thing, the brotherhood. It's not just like a slogan; it really is true. When you see these guys and you give them a hug, it's real.
Yeah,
it's real, and it brings back all the things we've gone through, all the 17 across we ran, all the times Coach K cussed us out, all the wins, all the losses, and it's instantaneous.
You talk about your brothers going to war, like you just said. You won the national championship in 2001. Could you just talk to us about that experience, how it was? I know you had like a rough season. It was up and down. What led to y'all pulling it out at the end?
Well, that was a crazy season. And, to understand that season, you have to understand kind of the journey, at least for me, my class. Going back to 1999, we lose the national championship against UConn.
Yep.
We were a big favorite that game. If we win that game, we were one of the greatest teams in the modern history of basketball.
Yep.
Right? We were 35-1 at the time. We lose that game, and no one remembers us aside from losing that game. That was the first year that Coach K had lost guys to the draft. So Elton Brand goes to draft number 1. Will Avery goes lottery pick. Corey Maggette, Trajan Langdon graduates, and so everyone thought Duke was done.
Yeah.
All right, because all that was left was a guy named Chris Carrawell, Nate James, Shane Battier, and a bunch of freshmen named Jay Will, Mike Dunleavy, Carlos Boozer. So all the haters came out and said Duke is dead.
Yep.
And we lose our first 2 games that year. And everyone said, oh, Duke is really dead. They can't replace those guys.
Yeah.
And we got it together, finished that year number 1 in the country. Got upset in the Sweet 16 against Florida, who went on to the national championship game. But it set the stage for my senior year. And, those freshmen when I were sophomores, Booz, Jay Will. Jay Will was he was the man. And we were so hungry. We were so hungry that year.
Yeah.
And we had talent, but the hunger, no one can match. No one can match. And so, look, when you come to Duke, your goal is to win the national championship
Every year.
Right.
Yep.
And it's no different today than it was back then when I played. And we had the talent, we had the coaching, we had the hunger, but you need some luck.
Yeah. For sure.
And so we were rolling along until, we played Maryland in my senior night, and Carlos Boozer breaks his foot. And it was almost a repeat of when Elton Brand and Trajan Langdon and Will and those guys left. Everyone said Duke is done. No Boozer, no chance.
Yep.
You're going to start Casey Sanders or Reggie Love against North Carolina.
Yeah.
And so we knew that on paper it didn't look great. But Coach K sat us down in the way that Coach K only can, and said, if you believe in me and you believe in my plan, we'll be national champions. Now, if you would have said that anywhere outside that locker room, you'd have been laughed at.
Yeah.
No way. But we all said, Coach, we believe. And then Coach said, we're going to change the way we play. We're going to try to shoot 63s a game. 60. And every drill was geared to just shooting threes. He said, if you miss, I don't care. I don't care if you miss 5. Keep firing. And we're going to overwhelm them with speed and three-point shooting. We went to Carolina and beat them by double digits. Go to Atlanta, win the ACC championship. Carlos comes back for the tournament, and we win the title. And so, you know, for a team to be a champion, you have to toe the line of like, man, we might be done here.
Yeah.
Right? And we did that when Cebu's got hurt. But if you can come through those things, man, you're galvanized.
Brings you together.
Yeah, it brings you together, and you believe you're a team of destiny.
So we talked to Coach K and Jay Billis yesterday, and they just repeated what you just said. Like, you got to go through tough things to end up on top. And like you said, Carlos Boozer, he broke his foot. And one thing Jay said yesterday that stuck with me was, like, we need you to everybody has a role, but just because that's your role right now, something could happen in a split second, your role changes, and you need to be ready. So, like, the preparation is what you need. Yeah. And, like, once you do that, like, you just got to be ready when your time comes.
It's every day.
Yeah.
And it's like the hardest thing for a young player to learn. Like, why am I doing this drill?
Yeah.
Why do I got to be in shape? I'm not playing, or I'm not getting the ball.
Yeah.
Right? You just never know when that window opens for you.
Exactly.
And you got to be ready.
Got to be ready.
Because it comes at you fast.
Split second. Like, it comes and it goes.
And do you do it or do you not do it?
Yep.
And, like, there's so many players, you know, made the most of their opportunity. I made the most of my opportunity. Well, Elton Brand got hurt my freshman year.
Yeah.
You know, I came off the bench and Elton Brand started. Elton Brand breaks his foot. I step in and I was ready. I was in shape. I listened hard. I played hard, and I made the most of my opportunity, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
And, you know, basketball's a funny game, man. Like, one play can change the trajectory of your entire career.
Yeah.
But you got to be ready for that moment.
Yeah, Jay also said something. I think they were in a national championship game against, I forget the team, maybe UConn or something? Louisville. And he said that they've been practicing blockouts the whole year, all summer. And, you know, when we practicing blockouts in the summer, it's like why are we doing this? Like, come on, man. And then that's what they lost to, blockout, the air ball, layup. So it's just like attention to detail.
Yep.
You know, we got to take everything with, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the winning play.
Yep.
But let's move on. How do you say that your time at Duke shaped you as a person and a player?
Oh, man. Well, the reason why I came to Duke was very simple. I wanted to be around people who wanted to do big things and change the world.
Yeah.
Right? I had no interest in going to a place that was mediocre, and some people were just happy to be there.
Yeah.
You know, when I walked into Bassett dorm my freshman year, I mean, everybody on my floor, they wanted to be doctors, lawyers, you know, get their doctorates. They wanted to make $1 billion, like big ambitions. And it's really important to be around people and surround yourself with people who want to do big things with their life.
Yeah,
because it pushes you. It pushed you. And it didn't matter that my friends wanted to be scientists or judges one day. Like, man, yeah, I want to be somebody too.
Yeah.
And so every day when you go to the classroom, walk across campus, you're dealing with the top of the top, the baller. You better have a game in the classroom.
100%.
Right? And all of a sudden you walk across the street, come to Cameron, you better have a game out in Cameron.
100%.
Right? So if you're a competitor and you want to go against the best at every waking hour of the day, there's no better place than Duke. And so, you know, having that mentality of I got to be my best every single day was what when I graduated I took with me, and it served me well as obviously as a basketball player, but now as a business person, a board member, a parent, philanthropist, all the things that are involved in my life.
Yeah, one thing I could say about that is when I first got here, my freshman dorm, we were in Wilson, and like I'm getting up in the morning, and like when you walk out of Wilson, it's this meeting room that a lot of kids they just work in because I mean they got roommates and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
every time I walk by there, it's they're in there at 1 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? 6 o'clock in the morning, they studying. So it's just like that dedication and they're trying to correct their craft.
It rubs off on you,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So it's like that's the people you want to be around. It helps you. It's like like everybody's locked in. Like everybody has dreams and aspirations of what they want to be. So, I mean, it kind of just like you elevate each other. Kinda.
Yeah, it's the best.
How would you say the Duke brand has helped you in your professional career?
Oh man, well, there's not a room that I go into when I'm wearing a Duke polo, a Duke hat, that people sit up a little straighter and like, oh, okay, this cat's got game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And even though someone may not know anything about my career, about my background, when they know that I graduated from Duke University, when I went to Duke, people are like, okay, he's got something.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And it's a really cool thing. And I'm super proud of my association with Duke. I worked my tail off when I was here. And the cool thing is when you go around the world, I could be somewhere in Europe. I could be somewhere in Africa.
Yeah.
And they see that logo and say, oh, yeah.
Yeah, Duke.
I went to Duke. I went to grad school there.
Yeah.
Or, man, my kid went there. And it's just a special place. And I feel just very, very fortunate and grateful that I'm associated with the best university in the world.
Yeah, me too. What is it like seeing guys like Mike Dunleavy, Elton Brand, Trajan Langdon running NBA front offices?
Well, those are all my guys, first of all.
Yeah.
But they're amazing competitors. They were all amazing teammates. And they're all winners.
Yep.
They're all winners. And they are taking what they learned from here, what the Brotherhood stands for, what Duke basketball stands for, and taking them to places that don't understand the importance of culture, don't understand about the importance of building winning habits. Like, when you're here, you kind of take it for granted. Like, yeah, of course, this is the way we operate. This is how we do things, and everything is. There's an expectation that it's hard, smart together every single day, and you'll be shocked, when you go to the next level, and you're in some franchises. I'm not naming names. Yeah. You're like, well, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Right. So there's a reason why people want guys who played at Duke, because they know what it takes to build amazing franchises, amazing teams, and exhibit leadership. And so you'll figure that out very quickly. You will. And that's probably the biggest culture shock that I had when I first got to the league.
So you talk about culture. So you had the opportunity to play against a team who is known for its culture, the Heat. You played and worked for them. Can you talk about how it was? How did you like it? Like how was working and playing for the Heat?
Well, I was lucky to play 13 years in the NBA, and the first time I was a free agent was in my 10th year, and so I could have gone anywhere. And at that point, I had not won an NBA championship. Obviously, I hadn't got out of the second round of the playoffs, and for lucky for me, the big three got together in Miami the year before I got to Miami, and they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals, and that was well documented, kind of an upset. And that team, obviously, the talent was unbelievable. Playing with Bron and D Wade and Chris Bosh and Hall of Famers up and down the bench. I thought I could go there and help those guys. Not with my scoring or my individual skill, but like my entire career was based off making people better, making a team gel, being a glue guy. And so obviously my college teammate Nick Harrison, who was manager on the Duke basketball team and was now the president and CEO of the Miami Heat, he recruited me pretty hard, and so I thought it'd be an amazing chance to go to Miami with my friend and try to win a championship and bring a championship back to South Beach. And the culture of the Heat is very similar to Duke basketball in a lot of ways, where there's a seriousness, there's a professionalism, and the expectations are we want to be a world-class team. And a lot of franchises, a lot of teams say, "Oh, I want to win." Championship's the goal. But like, if you want to be a world-class team, that means attention to detail and doing everything you can to be top of your profession. And that's what this is about. And that's what the Miami Heat was about. And very lucky to go to 3 finals and have 2 rings.
Yeah, you're. I mean, there's not too many people who've won an NBA title and a college and a national championship. Can you compare the two? Like, what's it like winning like an NBA title and then like what's in the national championship? Which one were you more proud of?
Well, the way I describe it, CFOS, is that, and you don't know this yet, but you will one day. They're like having kids. All right. You don't love one more kid more than the other. Yeah. You love them differently. Yeah. And they're special in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm not saying, look, there are different times in my life. So when I won the championship at Duke, I was the senior captain. I was the player of the year. This was like, Nate James and J.D. Simpson. It was our team. We were the captains of the ship. And there was a certain amount of like pride that I get from being one of the leaders of the team. At Miami, I was the 5th starter. I averaged 8 points a game. Yeah. Even though I hit 6 threes in Game 7, like my job was just to make everything work. Yeah. And I came up big when the lights were the brightest, and so like I'm proud that I was able to do that for my team. And so I think about each of those experiences very differently, but all pretty amazing.
Yeah. So in your career you had so many iconic blocks. Can you rank them, or can you name, what I'm saying, like which one was your favorite? Which one you still think about today?
My favorite block of all time, I think it has to go back to the Miracle Minute. Mm-hmm. We're down to Maryland, 10 points, 55 seconds left at Cole Fieldhouse. And look, in my 4 years, Maryland, they were our toughest opponent. Mm-hmm. They're a really, really good program. And they hated us. We didn't like them. Yeah. And I'll never forget playing in Cole Fieldhouse, which was an awesome place to play. That place was rocking. And all the chants of overrated and all that with a minute to go, and they're ready to storm the court and probably like take shots at us. We're ready, but like Coach K is like, we're gonna win this game again. And Jay Will hits a 3, and Nate hits some big shots, and Dunleavy, and we get it to overtime. Once we get to overtime, we're like, oh, we're beating these guys. Yeah. And I'll never forget last play of the game. We're up to Juan Dixon goes to the hole. And I just slide over, and it wasn't like a crazy block. I didn't block it in the 3rd row, but I just went up and boop, blocked it. And Jay Will got the ball, and we dribbled the clock out, and we won. And we walked off the court like we knew we were going to win. And so that was, my favorite block, because I don't like Maryland a lot. Yeah. And
I wish I could have the opportunity to play Maryland.
I know.
Obviously not in the ACC.
I know.
I hear all the guys talking about how big of a rivalry. Coach Will always tells me about it.
It's great.
Yep. So Battier Take Charge Foundation, development and education to the underserved youth. Can you tell us about it? What do you have going on now?
Yeah. Look, I was so lucky. I was so lucky to have basketball to allow me to come to a place like Duke. To really take me around the world and unlock my dreams. I've lived my unbelievable fantasy. Mm-hmm. I knew I had the drive, I had the passion, I had the work ethic. I just needed an opportunity. Yeah. Right. And I got it through basketball. There's so many kids that are like me, all around the world that just need a chance. And to have someone say, you know what, I believe in you, and here's a platform. Here's a network, here's financial resources, go get it. Yep. And so that's why we started the Battier Take Charge Foundation over a decade. And proud to say now we've given over $3 million in scholarships and financial programming to some amazing kids from around the country. We have chapters in Miami and in Houston and in Camden, New Jersey. We're expanding to Charlotte. We're expanding to Detroit, all in the name of just finding good people who were like me, young people, have the drive, the energy, the determination, just need a little help. And if we can do that, we're going to make societal change. And the young people who have been through our program are just absolute ballers.
Yeah, I love that. CFOS, anything you need, I would love to be a part of that. So just let me know.
All right.
I would love to be a part of that. Launch a new podcast. You're trying to be like me someday. So,
I am. I'm very impressed, CFOS.
Give us the details of the new podcast. I got to come hop on or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying my hand at the podcast game. It's called The Glue Guys. And a buddy of mine who graduated from Duke a couple years behind me named Ravi Gupta, who's a partner of Sequoia Venture Capital out in Silicon Valley. Very, very smart tech mind. Got his claim to fame as the chief operator of Instacart, which IPO'd last year for $10 billion. So very, very successful businessman. And
10 billion, you said?
10 billion. It was the largest IPO last year and just absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
So he's a super smart guy, and Ravi made it happen.
Man.
So he went to Duke again. Duke connections.
Yep.
Duke, and so he said we should do a podcast. And I'm like, I don't want to do a podcast. We should do a podcast. So he finally wore me down, and we recruited the quarterback Alex Smith, 3-time Pro Bowler. Played for the Chiefs and the Niners and the Redskins. Even though he went to Utah, really smart guy, great guy, good-looking guy, and we want to talk and highlight the glue guys and the glue gals of the world that make teams go. It may be the superstar, it might be the leader, but it might be the person at the lower levels that just make teams go. And there's a lot of podcasts in the world about leadership and the great leaders. We want to highlight teams and behaviors of just people who make culture great. And this is kind of a highbrow business podcast about business, but also sports and parenting and being a great friend. And we're really excited about it. So it drops September 10th. You can find it on Spotify or Overcast or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And it's going to be really, really cool. We're going to have some great
Y'all hear that?
guests.
September 10th. Everybody tune in.
Yep.
Let's flip the gears to this year. I don't think you've seen our team yet.
Not yet.
But I'm pretty sure you heard about it. Any thoughts on our team? What can we do? What can I do to be like you, be a national champion?
Well, it doesn't start. It doesn't start when the season starts. You know this.
Yeah.
It started last spring. You coming back from rehab and rehab and getting right.
For sure.
And it's the work that you put in the summer. All right, getting in world class athletic shape.
Yep.
Right now, you got a full team here, and you're competing every single day, and it's really just as one of the leaders and returning players, it's setting the expectation. This is what Duke basketball is. You were around the team last year, so you know what it feels like to go to Virginia, all right, to go to Carolina, to play nationally ranked games. These young guys have no idea. And what makes Duke basketball great, and the reason why we had so much success when I was a young player, guys like Trajan Langdon, Steve Wojciechowski, Rashawn McLeod, they showed me what it meant to be a Duke basketball player by the way they carried themselves, by the way they worked, their attitude, their way they supported us, right? And so as a freshman, I asked a ton of questions, but I just watched those guys, and I'm like, okay, that's what Duke's about. Yeah. And so by the time it was my team, I was one of the old heads, all right? It was my job to teach Mike Dunleavy, Jason Williams, Chris Duhon. Hey, man, this is what it means to be a Duke basketball player. So your job, right, and it's a lot of responsibility, is to show these young guys what it really means to put this on.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And if they can get that, all right,
sky's the limit.
Success and wins follow.
Yep. So can you talk to us about the strength of the Brotherhood, how it has evolved since you've been here?
Yeah, I'll never forget one of the most powerful moments, really, of my life and my basketball life was when we came here for Coach's last game, Coach K's last game, and it's down the hall, and you walk into the room, and you realize, man, there's been some absolute dogs and some ballers that have walked through that door and have been part of the Brotherhood. Not just basketball players. I'm talking successful in the game of life and have done amazing, amazing things. And there's no other place like it. I'm sorry. You talk about any other program, I'll put our alumni, our Brotherhood up against anyone. And you'll never find another group that is as connected and I haven't seen you in a long time. We
Yeah.
give each other a hug, and it's all love. And so there's something about the brotherhood that is instantaneous, all right? And if you know, you know, and you'll never understand unless you walk through those doors like we all have.
Yeah, for sure. So talk about your relationship with Coach Scheyer. I just learned this today. Coach Scheyer is the only player to play more minutes than you in the season. That's crazy.
I didn't know that.
Coach wasn't coming out the game senior year.
You know, I love Coach Scheyer. I'm so happy he's our coach. We all support him as former players.
Yeah.
He's super thoughtful. He has amazing integrity. He wants to do right not only for you guys, but the program, for his family, for everything Duke. Right? It's rare. It's rare. There are a lot of people who are out for self. He's one of the most selfless coaches that you could get, right? And so he wants to compete. All right, people don't know how big of a competitor he is. I mean, he has a fire.
He still plays at the practice, and I hear him. I remember he lost one time. He was hot. He was hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they say he cheats too, but I'm not going to speak on that.
He plays the win.
Yeah.
He plays the win. But just an amazing representative of Duke basketball, and we're so happy that he's the captain of our ship. And former players, we will do anything to support him and make sure that he has all the advice that he needs. So when all the old heads come back, we're doing that for Coach Scheyer as well as the team.
Yeah, I love Coach. I couldn't ask for a better spot, better coach to be playing for.
best.
So let's flip gears. You play with LeBron.
Yep.
To me, he's the GOAT.
Me
but
too.
We're not gonna. Oh, to you?
Me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Can you tell us any interesting stories about Bron? What makes Bron different? Yeah.
You know why LeBron's the GOAT to me? All right. Not because Jordan's a Carolina guy. LeBron's the GOAT because he did something that Jordan couldn't do, and LeBron did it twice. He won 2 NBA titles with Shane Battier as his power forward.
I love that.
Jordan couldn't drag me across the line. I'm sorry. And LeBron did it twice. Look, LeBron, first of all, tremendous teammate. Like, as great as he is, I mean, saw him this summer with the Olympics. I mean, he was unbelievable at age 40. Unbelievable teammate. And he always treated his teammates with respect. He could have big-timed us because he's LeBron. All right? And he always came to my charity events. He always addressed my wife by her name. He always, messed around with my kids. Like, he's the greatest player in the world. Like, you never do that. And so, like, when he gets on the court, I'll follow LeBron anywhere. And then when LeBron got that look, like we're down 3-2 to Boston, Eastern Conference Finals.
I remember this.
And LeBron just had this look in his eye, like he was like possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't losing. LeBron goes out and gives us 45, like 15-8 in Boston Garden in an elimination game. Man, it was like I'd never witnessed like greatness like that before. But like unbelievable teammate. And just his will to win and prepare to win is what makes him the greatest.
Okay, so you were people known you as the Kobe stopper.
No, don't start that. Don't start that.
That's what they say. What is it? What was it like guarding Kobe? Or any of your secrets? What was your secret?
Man. Well, Kobe, I loved and I hated Kobe because he just he gave me the blues a lot. Yeah. Right. But there was no one. He was the best competitor I ever played against. Kobe was never satisfied. He was relentless. So if he had 20, he wanted 30. If he had 30, he wanted 40. He had 40, he wanted 50. If he had 50, he wanted 60. Yeah. Relentless. And so I hope in your life that you find a worthy adversary, a worthy competitor that brings the best out of you every single time. And I knew I had to get my rest. I knew I had to study. I knew I had to be like mentally so sharp every single time I stepped on the court against this dude. Because if I didn't, he'd embarrass me. So like he raised my level to a level that I never thought I could get to, right? And I still had trouble with him. Yeah. But I had some good battles with him. I did have some success against him, even though he had some big games against me. And the ultimate compliment he paid to me was actually in his book, Mamba Mentality, and he actually wrote about me on 2 pages. I didn't know about this till after he passed. And he said, you know, I didn't believe that there was any player that could guard me. My muscle memory was so great because I used to stick my hand in his face. You know, a guy like Shane, you know, was a very solid defender. I enjoyed playing against him, but he always downplayed his ability to guard me in the media, and I saw that as false humility, and I attacked him because of it. And I'm like, he's right. So like Kobe and I played this game within the game that I was playing kind of like coy, and he just wanted to punish me, and no one else knew we were playing this mental game that was like way up here, and that for me that was the highest level of competition, and I miss him, and I wish we could have this conversation together because we would both get a laugh over it now.
Yeah, that's dope. Can you give us a Coach K story, whether like funny, more motivational that we maybe haven't heard? I know Coach he talked to us yesterday.
Yeah,
he was
was
hard,
but
he's a great coach.
He was the best.
Yeah,
he's the
greatest.
Best coach. He had the best pregame speeches. I mean, some are corny, but some, I mean, you just wanted to go out and just crush the other team.
Yeah.
And so I remember we played Virginia the first time at UVA. And he didn't felt we attacked them enough. We were kind of passive. We won the game, and he said, "Gentlemen, when we play Virginia tomorrow, I want you to attack." That's all he said. We come back in the locker room the next day before the game, and literally, it was not environmentally sound, but literally every piece of the locker room was plastered with a piece of paper that says the word attack. I'm talking like in the urinals, in the shower, you know, in the hot tub, all of our lockers. He's like, the message is simple: attack. Let's go! And we went out and we blitzed them and beat them by 50. But it was. I'll never forget that. It was wall to wall white paper with just a simple word "attack" on it.
That's beautiful. Hey, it worked, huh?
He was creative. Coach was
creative.
Very creative.
How long you think it took them to
all night. Those poor managers. I'm sure were there all night, you know, putting everything up and taking everything down.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked.
He know how to get the best out of his players.
It worked.
So let's flip the script. What's it like being a dad, seeing your son get recruited? Hopefully he ends up at Duke. I know he probably will. But
well, you know, my son he's great. Look, I have tremendous respect for him and empathy. Like every time he walks into a gym with the last name Battier, like, that's hard.
Yeah.
And people are gonna go at his neck just because of his last name.
Yeah.
He's a really good kid, and he's 6'7" now and super skilled lefty, shoots it. You know, and my message to him was the same my parents told me. My parents never put pressure on me. My parents just said, "Shane, you got to be the best Shane you can be." I went to the same high school as Chris Webber, so everyone wanted to put the comparison. Oh, you're the next C Webb, and my parents were like, "Man, just be the best you can, and we love you regardless."
Yeah.
Right? If you can say you did the best you could, that's all we need. And so I tell my son that. I said, "Man, you don't have to be anybody.
Yeah.
You got to be you. You got to be the best version of yourself."
Yeah.
Right? You put the time in, and you know you care about your teammates, and don't shortcut the process. Man, I love you. I love you regardless. And so I'm super, super lucky to have an amazing son and daughter who's a great soccer player as well. And I just want him to enjoy the process because it goes fast. It goes fast.
It really does.
Man,
I remember
just enjoy it.
I remember being a sophomore at Oak Hill, and then I just looked like,
boom,
here
you are.
I'm sophomore year at Duke. It just went by like that. But what's next for you personally? When are you running for president?
I don't think I want that smoke. My wife said, "Look, I hope the U.S. government can pay for our divorce because if you run for president, they're gonna have to pay for it."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't want that." Yeah. I got a full slate. I'm very, very fortunate to be busy, and I do a lot of different things. I'm still a consultant for the Miami Heat. I probably do 20 dates on the road delivering corporate speeches on culture and leadership and winning and writing a book about team building and how to build the ultimate team, launching the podcast.
Yep.
I still run the Battier Take Charge Foundation. I try to be a parent and try to play a little bit of golf along the way. So it's I have a full boat every day. I'm very blessed to be connected with folks and try to help them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're just gonna move into these quick hitters, just quick questions. Let's start. Why did you choose number 31?
I was telling that story today when I was. It's not a quick hitter. I'm sorry, but the first time I came to Cameron was my junior year. I drove all night to get here. Every door was locked except like an exit window. I climbed through. I came into Cameron, and they used to have these big felt retired jersey banners on one end and the championship banners on the other end. And only two things lit up were the banners and the jerseys. And I look up, and I see number 32, Christian Laettner. 33, Grant Hill. 35, Danny Ferry. And I said, I'm going to try to close out the 30s.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be 31.
That's dope.
And
That's a.
I did my job.
Yeah.
I did my job. So one less number in the 30s.
That's phenomenal. Favorite spot on Duke campus?
My favorite spot on Duke campus was, the divinity school. I was a religion major.
Okay.
So no one knew about the divinity library. It was always, very quiet, but like you felt like, close to God, you're next to the cathedral. So that was my favorite place.
Last song you listened to?
Last song was, I just listened to my favorite group now, a group called Kurungbin. All right.
What genre?
It's like, it's chill, very chill, very, very chill. Listen to them live. They did a collaboration with Leon Bridges' Texas Sun.
Okay.
That's the last song I heard.
Best advice you ever received?
The best advice I ever received was from my mom, who said that no matter how good you are, there's always someone better. Stop trying to chase that person. Just be the best you can be.
That's beautiful. One thing you can't live without?
One thing I can't live without is my golf clubs.
Golf clubs. Are you good? I'm just
I'm okay.
now trying to get into golf. I gotta go to work on my game a little more.
I'm not Gerald Henderson. The rankings of Duke basketball golfers are like Gerald Henderson, number 1. All right, Jay Billis probably number 2. I'm probably behind Billis.
Oh well, you up there?
JJ's up there too. JJ's up there too. Johnny Dawkins can play too. I don't want I'm not trying to throw shade. If I forgot you, I'm sorry. But it probably goes Gerald Henderson, Billis, Johnny, me.
Yeah, hopefully
JJ.
I get up there one day. I got a lot of
All
work
right,
to go.
we'll see if you got game.
Favorite TV show ever?
My favorite TV show ever was Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Last show you watched?
Last year I watched. I'm drawing a blank. What I watched last year? I forget. I don't watch much TV.
Favorite? Yeah, me either. Favorite movie?
The Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski. Yeah, it's probably before my time. Favorite childhood memory?
My favorite childhood memory of all time was getting Nintendo on Christmas Day. I'm aging myself, but I never wanted a Christmas gift more than Nintendo, and I got it, and it was the greatest day of my life.
Yeah, I think
original Nintendo.
Mine was something like that, but it was like the PS5.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite memory from Duke?
My favorite memory of Duke was coming back to campus after winning the national championship and going to Irwin Square.
I know, it was crazy.
Oh, it was crazy. We had some good nights after that night.
Favorite current NBA player?
My favorite current NBA player is LeBron.
Yeah. Who do you love or hate playing against in the NBA? Or
I loved and hated playing Kobe.
Kobe, yep. One thing on your bucket list?
One thing on my bucket list is, I want to see the silverback gorillas in Africa.
Yeah, that's interesting. Don't get too close.
I know.
Favorite vacation spot?
My favorite vacation spot, St. Bart's in the Caribbean.
Sounds nice. Favorite social media platform?
I like Instagram. I like life hacks.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Okay. If you could go back in the time machine, where would you go?
I would go back. I go back in the '60s, And that was an amazing time in American history. Late 60s, a lot of change.
Favorite pro athlete that's not a basketball player?
Barry Sanders and Tiger Woods.
Okay. Favorite pro team that's not basketball?
Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions. You're from Detroit?
I'm from Detroit.
Favorite Duke player of all time besides yourself?
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. NBA all-time starting five. I can't wait to hear this.
Ooh. Bron, Jordan, Tim Duncan.
Bron, Jordan, Tim Duncan.
Kareem.
And
I'm putting Steph on there.
I like Steph. Yeah, that's a good five right there.
That's
So we're gonna move into fan questions. What they got for you?
Okay.
Rick Hendricks said favorite teaching moment from Coach K.
My favorite moment was when I was going to be a junior, and it was my turn to lead Duke, and Coach K called me on my internship in Chicago, and he asked me a simple question like, "Are you ready to lead this team next year?" And I kind of laughed and I said, "Well, Coach," click. He hung up on me. Called me back the next day, asked me the same question. He said, "Shane, are you ready to lead this team?" I sort of laughed again. I'm like, "Well, Coach," click. Hangs up on me again. Same time, calls back next day. So asked me the same question. "Are you ready to lead this team?" I said, "Yep, Coach, I'm ready." And he's like, "Look, until you believe you can lead this team, you can't lead this team. And for us to be great, you need to believe you can lead this team."
Yeah, he was making sure you got the message.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Derek Fernandez said, what Duke players since you left reminds you the most of yourself, defensively, offensively, and from a leadership standpoint?
Oh, man. That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Shout out.
J-Rob reminded me just of his leadership. I just saw him, and I'm like, good-looking, light-skinned brother. So there was something about him, the way he worked, and he had a great senior year. So that's my man.
Devil's Den Pod said, you spoke about an analytical approach on defense and sometimes having to live with the result if a player makes a tough shot. Can you elaborate more developing defensive IQ and what it takes to stay committed on that end?
Yeah, so basketball became a math problem for me. I knew just by looking at the data what every player's worst shot was and what every player's best shot was. And 100% of the time, a player's worst shot was any dribble jumper. Any dribble jumper. And so I knew if I just took away every spot jump shot and made them dribble once, they're going to lose like 20% of their shooting ability. And so I just tried to do that again and again and again. And so it freed me up to not worry about whether a guy made or missed a shot. I didn't care if they made or missed a shot. I really didn't. I cared what shot they took.
Okay.
And if you do that over the course of a game, over the course of a season, you will be a better defender.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that. Heart Hustle Sports said, most challenging game / moment as a player in the 2001 season that eventually helped you guys win the national championship?
I would say the Maryland game, just because we lost. We hated Maryland, and we lost Seaboos.
Yeah.
I mean, we felt pretty low after that game. But again, every champion has to come to the precipice of disaster and pull themselves through it to prove to themselves, we got what it takes to get it done.
Yeah. Kevin White Muse said, what is the most important daily habit to your success?
The most important daily habit is the first 30 minutes of my day. And I write in my journal every single day, and I do the same things every single day. I write down 3 things that were awesome about yesterday. And then 1 thing I learned from yesterday, right? And then I write down 3 things I'm grateful for today. Then I write down 3 things that would make this day great. Like today, I said I want to get to Durham safely. I want to have an awesome podcast with CFOS.
Yes, sir.
And I want to enjoy my welcome party tonight, right? And then I always write my mantra. You got to remind yourself like what you're about. And my mantra is I live for the 3 C's: contribution, challenge, and community. I live to make others better, to improve myself, and to be valued and part of something bigger than myself. And I remind myself every single day when I wake up what I'm about. And that is the most important thing to start my day. And it propels me to do big things, or at least try to every single day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Brandon McStay says, funniest basketball story from Duke. I mean, the attack one was pretty funny.
Probably nothing I can repeat on this podcast, a family podcast. Andre Buckner, I'm looking at you. If you were there, you were there. But, you know, we had so many. Like when you're part of a team, like there's so many dumb jokes that go on in the locker room.
It is.
You know, Andre Buckner used to like get the bagels that were in the team room and like shower with eating bagels and sing the bagels in the shower song, which sounds so stupid, but to us it was the funniest thing. He did it every single day. So bagels in the shower. If you were there, you're there.
Okay. Duke Lights wants to know your all-time Duke starting five.
Oh gosh, I hate this question. I'm gonna go.
You gotta put yourself.
Grant. No, I'm not putting myself in there. I'm gonna go Grant Hill, Christian Laettner, Johnny Dawkins, Jason Williams. I call him Jason. Sorry, Jay. I'm calling you Jason. Jason Williams and JJ Redick.
Okay, that's a beautiful five.
Tough to beat. I'm not putting myself in.
Arnie Palmtree says, better team, Duke 1999 or 2001? That's
I'm biased. You know, I think that, you know, both historically dominant if you look at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one of those teams that has Banner and Cameron. I don't know which one, so I'll let you I'll let you tell the crowd which one it is.
Okay. So he's saying 2001, guys. Nick wants to know. He said, "Would you please run for president?"
I got a lot to do. I think that might get in the way of my agenda.
Okay, M Rose 1047. Best and worst part about rooming with Mike Dunleavy.
Mike was a slob. That's my man. I love him. He's my brother. I tell him, if you need a kidney, I'll give you a kidney. But like when we lived together, there's an old show called The Odd Couple, Felix and Oscar, and I was the neat, tidy one. And Mike was just always leaving his dishes out.
Mm-hmm.
And he was young, but like,
Got to you.
but that was my man. We laughed so hard. We watched every sporting event, and you know, we still laugh at the same stupid jokes that we did when we were back here in college.
Zach Bryan wants to know, when did you know you were going to come to Duke, and who inspired you the most to commit?
I think a story when I walked into Cameron and I saw the jerseys and I said, I'm going to be 31. I think I knew that's when I was coming to Duke.
Mm-hmm. So this is when you were in high school?
In high school. It was always Duke. It was always Duke. Someone had to prove otherwise.
Yeah, same for me.
You know, Coach K got me. Coach K got me in that room, and Coach K is unbelievable, persuasive speaker. Mm-hmm. And it was my second visit. And he's like, just commit now. Just commit now. I'm like, Coach, I've committed to visit Carolina and Michigan and other schools. I got you don't have to do anything. You just commit. So I knew I was coming, but I didn't let him know until after all my visits.
Duke Universe says, favorite shot you hit at Duke, most memorable.
The most memorable shot. See, I wasn't a huge offensive guy, so I don't think I hit any game winners here. Was probably the last basket I ever scored, national championship game against Arizona. Mm-hmm. I was exhausted. I played the entire game, and it was a close game. And I'll never forget this. I was in the corner, and I thought, if I cut here, I can maybe get like a layup. Mm-hmm. And I didn't. Obviously, was not super athletic. And I caught the ball. I took 2 steps, and I brought it back. And I, with every last ounce of strength I had, threw it down. Uh-huh. And that kind of like sealed the game, put us up 8, and that was the championship. So that was my favorite bucket.
For sure. George, 11N, toughest player you ever guarded?
In college, Antoine Jameson. He gave me the blues. All right. He was so fast, and I was a freshman. I didn't know how to play defense yet, and he gave me the blues. Okay.
Tanya, would you ever consider coaching college or NBA basketball?
I coached high school. The last 4 years, I coached my son in Miami, and that's probably the last time I'll coach. I loved it. It was great, but it's fun to be a fan now.
Okay. Last question. William Smith wants to know favorite moment with Coach K.
You know, giving him a big hug after the championship game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I dream about that doing with Coach Scheyer, honestly.
That's
the best feeling ever.
Because you did it, and all the work and all the visualizing and all the pain you go through for that moment. It's the purest moment. It's the purest moment. So that was my favorite moment.
For sure. Well, Brotherhood Podcast, that's all we got. Thank you to the legendary Shane Battier for coming on. Everybody tune in. More episodes coming up next.